principal, Ahlcon International School. Your profile is the sum total of what you are and what you are doing to be what you want to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. And in that, I said earlier, and I'm repeating it, that your academic grades are one. They may be necessary, but they are not end of it. And therefore, how good a personality you're going to be to impact people, to create some transformation, to make differences in the lives of the people around you, that is more important. And therefore, I urge the parents and the students to take care of this and encourage your children to take part in community outreach programs, in social developmental programs, in programs which are beyond classroom programs, because ultimately, I can tell you with my experience that what you do outside the classroom is going to have a far more impact on your future than what you have done inside the classroom. This world is becoming a very, very unified entity. Geographies and nationalities and boundaries are dissolving, and our students are preparing themselves to be a first-rate global citizens. To be a first-rate global citizen, you require to learn at least one foreign language. You must know as to how to accept diversified cultural facts in the world. You must also know different geographies, different economies, and different histories, so that you can familiarize yourself with the people outside your own nation. When we enter into an international exchange program, it is one student versus the other student. But that's the beginning. What happens after that is the two families come together, because these students, when they visit the other countries, they stay with the families. So it is the coming together of two families, coming together of two cultures thereby, and also coming together of two nationalities. Now that immersion, brings out the lifestyle, brings out what are the nuances of each other's country, their democracies, their people's choices, their lifestyle, how they want to go about in the world, what do they think about the problems of the world, and how can these two people come together and find a common solution. That is where this cultural exchange program comes in preparing the children for the world, for the globe. When they meet, they find several commonalities, and in fact they also start accepting what they were very, very alien to, what they thought was never a common ground. And that is the genesis of this cultural exchange program. We have to open our children to the outside world. And for that, in the year 2009, which was very early, when our children grew up to classes 11th and 12th, we established international exchange program with a school in Germany. Later on, we added another school from Denmark. We have had exchange programs through British Council, through Australian High Commission, through Korean Cultural Center, and a host of other agencies. All these things brought in our students those skills which are required for them to work in multicultural environment, which is required for them to be sensitive about the global problems, which is required for them to think of the whole world as one entity and not only confine themselves to individual nationalities. The result came in the form of 4 of our students representing India at the United Nations. They very eloquently talked about gender equality. They talked about quality education. They talked about women empowerment. They talked about as to how poverty and hunger can be eradicated from this planet. I'm also recalling at this stage another student of ours, Bhamini Jain, who was accepted by one of the top universities in the US. And I was very pleased when the admissions department wrote her back as to how we found you suitable for this university. And that was what she has written in her statement of purpose. And they mentioned it very clearly that what Bhamini has written was so authentic, so believable and so natural that they found that Amini is the most suited candidate for that particular course in Soka Gakkai University, USA. Any child, just to maximize his or her chances of admission, they try and do something shortcut. So what we did, as I told you, that developing empathy and compassion, and after that providing opportunities for them to take action. And actions, it could be very big and it could be very small. Now at a school level, I would encourage children to take even a small action which is very genuine, which is very authentic, but which impacts people. So for example, I'll give you one example that some students, they came to me and they said, sir, we want to bring little more happiness, little more dignity to the work of the people who are working in our own school. Let us say we call them Group D employees. So how we can do it? So we will create a platform where they can come, they can have recreation, they can talk about it. We will have a data about them. Can we enhance their qualifications? Can we help them to study more than what they have done already? Can we take them outside on Delhi Darshan? And this whole project was conceived by our own students, and we had no clue about it. But they had this sensitivity, and they knew that once we have this project, we will get an opportunity to do it. And as a result of that, what they did was that they collected the initial qualification of all these people. So those who had their initial education only up to class 8, they helped them study for class 10. Those who have studied up to class 10, they help them study up to class 12, and so on and so forth. They organize special classes for them to give them computer education. They also organize special classes for them so that they can communicate better in English, because some of them felt that since we are not able to communicate better in English, so I have a piece of advice for the parents, for the students and teachers, that when we are helping children make their profile, I think one part which is known as a virtual part should not be missed out. And what is that? And that is social media profile. Our children, right from the age 12 and 13 or sometimes even younger, they are joining social media groups, different, sometimes multiple ones, and they are interacting with people, they are writing blogs, they are sharing opinions, they are taking part in discussions and fora. So it is very important what discussions you are taking part in, who are the people you are interacting with, what kind of attitude you are showing, you are reacting to situations or you are responding to situations, you are showing positivity or you are showing negativity, you are offering solutions or you are creating problems. These are some of the issues which are very, very important. And on social media, everything is being tracked, everything is being noted, everything is being somewhere stored. And most of the companies today, hiring companies, I think they are depending heavily on what you have done in your social media profile. And therefore, I would caution, I would advise that your social media profile is as important as your file that you are making with your degrees and diplomas and certificates of your community outreach programs.